Greetings, superior beings, greetings, supreme being. Welcome to Universal Peace Television, the channel or BC Hoffman WWIII on YouTube, and this is the real broadcast. Is President Trump a rapist? I'll change this. Okay, I'll restart the broadcast with the right title, because I don't know what happened when I changed the title during the broadcast. So the next one is the video, is President Trump a rapist, paedophile, Night of Malta, that will orchestrate the Jesuits WWIII for universal peace. So check it out. People can always Skype ProLogic999 if they want to be live in the broadcast for universal peace. Greetings, superior beings, greetings, supreme being. Welcome to Universal Peace Television, the channel or BC Hoffman WWIII on YouTube. And this is the broadcast. Is President Trump a rapist, paedophile, Night of Malta, that will orchestrate the Jesuits WWIII? So I want to begin by saying it's best to prepare with a radiological water filter and storable food, just in case. There can also be a meltdown with all these weapons of self-destruction surrounding us, etc. Another thing is that I was searching a good picture for this broadcast, and I ran into pictures of Donald Trump with Jeffrey Epstein, but I noticed they are on Getty Images, and you have to pay to use these images, so that's why I didn't use it. But it is weird that only Getty Images is showing you pictures of Donald Trump with Jeffrey Epstein on the same picture. Is that their technique to fuck people, to make them pay loads of money, etc.? So let's read stuff about this. I've also written and done broadcasts recently about Donald Trump spending $1 trillion on nuclear weapons instead of controlling the factors that control aging, to depopulate the earth, of course, and impose a satanic Luciferian totalitarian global government upon the people of planet Earth for his Jesuit master. So these people are slaves with their own handlers. And now I find a source that claims he is a Knight of Malta. The list of conspiracy facts also important, but let's stay on topic. First, more shocking information that therefore you could argue has a higher entertainment value. I will also cover the pedo hunters and how to prevent World War III. Is covered in my previous broadcasts. So let's first listen to the new articles that I want to read as well. So I do not necessarily agree with anything that's said, and I am interested in your opinions, and so are other people. So please comment and subscribe, and people can Skype me, ProLogic999 on Skype, for universal peace, of course.
Donald Trump on witness list for civil case involving billionaire pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. U.S. President identified as an individual who may have information. Independent.co.uk. Trump backs accused child molester Roy Moore for Senate. Al Jazeera. Trump hold Jesuit kitchen cabinet, an abomination redux. A planetruth.info. Donald Trump on witness list for civil case involving billionaire pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. U.S. President identified as an individual who may have information. Independent.co.uk. Trump backs accused child molester Roy Moore for Senate. Al Jazeera. Trump hold Jesuit kitchen cabinet, an abomination redux. A planetruth.info. Trump is a pedophile, rapist. Jeff Epstein's pedophile island Little Black Book also lists fellow Knight of Malta Bill Clinton. Night of Malta descends from Clan MacLeod, the Fairy or Scythe. C. Roughly 100 fake Ashkenazi fake Jews control Donald Trump and Mike Pence. Thesog.info/who controls Donald Trump. Night of Malta, Black Cross, Donald Trump. Trump is a corporate trail road to hell.
I've covered Trump's Jewish cabal on my channel in previous broadcasts. And they contain stuff they really don't want you to know about depopulating the earth, and they're selectively blocking viewers. The videos are simply not found by YouTube search engine and Google search engine, and my channel gives an error when you visit it. Basically, then you have to reload it to see the videos, etc. And perhaps all people they do this to give the same error, basically. So that's if you visit my website on YouTube, my YouTube channel, right here, they can also slow down your connection and your computer with wireless energy, the same technology used to crash these planes into the WTC by the Jesuit Peter Hans Kolvenbach, the former leader of the Jesuits, a military order posing as a religious order that did the Jesuit Holocaust. They've tortured 50 million people to death in their Inquisition. They also did Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and they're famous for the pedophilia, because they've paid more in the pedo cases than anybody else. So this is an error occurred. Please try again on my channel, youtube.com/user/bchoffman/videos. And I wonder if other people that they are selectively blocking the content of, you can argue that's illegal blocking of their content, though you could also argue YouTube may block anyone they wish to block. They offer them the hard disk space for free. And the thing I wanted to begin with is put it on a CD-ROM, because if there is an EMP, then all this evidence, they know that my videos will be erased, so they don't care whatever I write and how much I expose them. So let's continue reading the article.
And Mike Pence is the conductor. TISA, Trade and Services Agreement, is the free trade beast which will destroy the United States. Pedophile Island Little Black Book also lists fellow Knight of Malta Bill Clinton. Knight of Malta descends from Clan MacLeod, the Fairy or Scythe. Scythe apprentice Darth Maul didn't fare well in Star Wars. In fact, he was divided. Let's hope Donald Trump the Apprentice does better. Clan of Castle Dunvegan on the Isle of Skye harbored fleeing Knights Templar 700 years ago on his mother's side, and from Germanic Teutonic Knights on his father's. What? Didn't know that Donald was a pedophile, child sacrificing Scythe Lord, eh? Teutonic Knights and 33-degree Masonry use the same double eagle symbol. MacLeod connects Donald Trump to Satan's publisher, fellow crypto fake Jew, Knight of Malta Rupert Murdoch, Marduk, and News Corp PR man Sigmund Freud, Clement Freud, Matthew Freud, using a new.
Makes me think of the Luciferian book publisher of the UN, Lucifer Trust, now called Lucis Trust.
Bible version. Murdoch owns HarperCollins, Zondervan and Thomas Nelson Publishers, producers of the Satanic Bible, Joys of Gay Sex, Gender Neutral Niv and the Queen James Bible. Knight of Malta Donald Trump, star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and a Screen Actors Guild retirement pension. thereisnothingnew.org/index/Trump. YouTube video. Is President Trump the rapist pedophile Knight of Malta that will orchestrate the Jesuits World War III?
So what do you all think? Let me know in the comments if you have any evidence, verifiable things. Okay, this is the important stuff. Let's read this. to the world for universal peace.
Death is inevitable as long as the factors that control aging are not under control. They wear black jacket and blue tie. What could it mean? Some translate black and blue as bonten blue, hitting someone so that they get blue spots on their body. I was black and blue for 3 months. I was released from hospital the next day with minor head and neck injuries, so perhaps it means they are torturers. The State of the Union Address is an annual message presented by the President of the United States to a joint session of the United States Congress, except in the first year of a new president's term. 31/01/2017 President Trump's first State of the Union Address. We must reduce the price of cancer-causing prescription drugs and make more deadly experimental treatments available. Tougher on drug dealers and pushers. Nothing about the people depopulating the earth, directed energy weapon torture, nor about auditing the Fed. And nothing about cancer-causing prescription drugs used to depopulate the earth and the killer vaccines. See list of pandemics caused by vaccinations, and the hospitals appearing 2 times in the top 10 of main causes of death. Misdiagnoses, deadly prescription drugs. We must modernize and rebuild our nuclear arsenal instead of spend all that money on controlling the factors that control aging so we all die for the earth. Producing more weapons of self-destruction is our #1 choice for this reason. Scalar weapons, Tesla's death ray, and a patented device to create nuclear-sized explosions, have made nuclear weapons obsolete. Spending all that money on nukes is the best way to destroy the U.S. To impose our satanic Luciferian totalitarian Jesuit-controlled global government regime on the people of planet Earth. We have to pretend we are getting rid of the CIA-funded and armed ISIS terrorists instead of the weapons of self-destruction, and need more funding for that as well. Instead of proposing to get rid of all nuclear weapons worldwide, we have to pretend we are not there yet. The satanic inversion. It's normal when the American president decides what the capital of Israel should be instead of Netanyahu and the people of Israel. Only the crimes of the Iranians and Iraqi people count, not the American war crimes like the depleted uranium children war crime. Haley is also present. Not the comment but the U.S. ambassador to the UN. It's important when your goal is to produce the third Jesuit World War to have a good-looking female to spread our diabolical lie that Iran could pose a threat to Israel with its Iron Dome and other missile shields to make our third Jesuit World War a big success. Though we do not propose to rid ourselves of nuclear weapons worldwide and want to build even more of them for ourselves, we are portraying other countries as Satan if their leaders pursue this in any way. Though the socialist government of President Nicolas Maduro and critics of the U.S. policy say that such sanctions are damaging the Venezuelan economy and contributing to the depletion of food and medical supplies as they prohibit U.S. companies from doing business with Venezuelan state institutions, we want to impose these illegal sanctions on Venezuela and Cuba because we want to make it worse for the people, not better, and we the Jesuit-controlled elite slaves are in on it. Doternize. No blood for cancer oil. Fighting and killing your fellow humans in a war abroad is a horrible, despicable crime, the antonym of honorable. Hey, lead. Wars prevent progress in general and prevent people from controlling the factors that control aging, and war is always a crime. The neural network has time travel capability and is influencing everyone's brainwaves. Who knows why they need so many ionospheric heaters, to depopulate Earth slowly to 500 million. The nudes memo. Russian-linked bots on Twitter help spread the controversial hashtag #releaseTheMemo. The memo, and its release, have been part of an effort by Trump's political allies to shift focus away from the ongoing special counsel investigation and to portray the investigators' conduct as the real scandal. Wiki/Nunes_memo. Since May 2017, a special counsel investigation has been led by the current special counsel, former FBI Director Robert Mueller, into Russian interference in the 2016 United States elections, including exploring any links or coordination between Donald Trump's 2016 presidential campaign and the Russian government. Several members of the Trump campaign and administration have been convicted or indicted as a result of the investigation, including Michael Flynn, George Papadopoulos, Rick Gates, and Paul Manafort. In August 2017, Mueller's investigation reportedly expanded to include several lobbying firms, including the Podesta Group. Mueller has assembled a team of attorneys to conduct the investigation into links between Trump associates and Russian officials along with related matters. People can organize protests worldwide against President Trump's plan to modernize and rebuild the nuclear arsenal, especially if this means even more bloody nuclear weapons. As part of our defense, we must modernize and rebuild our nuclear arsenal. Trump quote. In warmongering first State of the Union, Trump doubles down on Gitmo and escalates nuclear war threat. Democracyno.org. Inside Donald Trump's new nuclear arms race time, Trump's draft plan for nuclear weapons should frighten everyone. BuzzinaInsider.com. New Trump policy could strengthen role of nuclear weapons. CNBC.com. Jan 12, 2018. President Donald Trump's administration could pursue development of new nuclear weaponry and explicitly leave open the possibility of nuclear retaliation for major non-nuclear attacks, if a leaked draft policy document becomes reality. The Congressional Budget Office has estimated that modernizing and maintaining the U.S. nuclear arsenal over the next 30 years will cost more than $1.2 trillion. Catching. So then there is no time to spend that on controlling the factors that control aging. Of course, they are their own worst enemy. U.S. could broaden its use of nuclear weapons. Trump administration. TheGuardian.com. December 18, 2017. U.S. to loosen nuclear weapons constraints and develop more usable warheads. Critics call development of new weapons dangerous. Cold War thinking. TheGuardian.com. Jan 9, 2018. Their designer Ebola virus failed, so now they do this. The only reason they are not getting rid of nuclear weapons worldwide is their plan to depopulate Earth. Not a word about the scalar weapons that have made nuclear weapons obsolete. High exposure to radio frequency radiation linked to tumor activity in male rats. Highly cited National Institutes of Health, press release 3 hours ago. I'm hidden. Instead of spending $1 trillion on more nuclear weapons, it should be spent on controlling the factors that control aging. It's between life and death. Choose life. Death is our common enemy. YouTube video to watch. Organize protests worldwide against Trump's nuclear weapon plans for universal peace. Their neural network is much smarter than they are. Church leaders chop up baby on altar and eat it. Before it's news.com. Jesuit records are introduced as evidence detailing the so-called magisterial privilege agreeing papal involvement in Ninth Circle ritual murder of newborn children. The same records identify Joseph Ratzinger as a member of the Knights of Darkness SS sacrificial cult during World War II. The original source of the information being controlled opposition, Kevin Annett, a fake priest with a fake court, does not prove this true or false. That he is a fake priest with a fake court making these claims and conveying these claims made by victims to us does prove its authenticity. You could argue that 30 million children disappear worldwide yearly does not prove nor disprove it either. The directed energy weapon torture they have subjected me to and the way they did it proves to me they are ultra sadists definitely capable of infant eating and much more horrible types of torture. Two dates conveniently omitted were September 11, 1537. The day of infamy when the Jesuits performed their first human sacrifice and cannibalistic Romish Mass, and July 31, 1556, the day Loyola turned black and died while on his deathbed. List of most evil crimes on oneevil.org provides more insight into how these satanic pedo priests that pretend to be Christian leaders work that Pope Alexander VI, cardinals, clergy, nuns and other officials of the Roman Catholic Church did organize and participate in the largest, most depraved sex orgy ever recorded in the history of humanity. That the sex orgy for the purpose of promoting Satanism did involve several hundred people and did involve the ritualistic murder of a significant number of innocent people, including frequent acts of cannibalism. This is the way they get rid of what they consider their enemies, people that expose them and tell the truth about God not existing. So they pretend these innocent people are demon-possessed, witches, and label them as heretics because they are Satanists themselves. Their leader is what they call the Black Pope, not the White Pope for this reason. So it's the satanic inversion. Albert Pike's fake letter to Mazzini makes clear in what way controlled opposition works. YouTube video to watch. Church leaders chop up baby on altar and eat it before it's news. Jesuits cannibalism documented. Renegotiation of Iran nuclear deal not possible. Zarif from Iran. IFP News Jan 26, 2018. IFP News. Collapse of Iran nuclear deal to create new regional crisis. IFP News February 2, 2018. I think you are an awesome chick and I would love to fuck you with my dick. We should embrace only the best of the best cultures. Brain. Wave. Police ordered to hunt the pedophile hunters in crackdown on vigilante groups snaring abusers. It follows a wave of violence and suicides in the wake of amateur investigations. Police told to halt tries of pedophile hunters. News, The Times. thetimes.co.uk. Of course I do not believe what The Times writes. I do not believe in their quote wave of violence and suicides unquote of pedophile hunters. So the pedo hunters are a lot more successful than the police that failed to catch these pedophiles caught by pedo hunters, so they deserve credit and our respect. Instead of helping the pedo hunters, they are demonized by them because the police work for the satanic pedophiles that control them and the judges with directed energy torture weapons. It's clear the police is not doing its job since they did not set up any sting to catch these pedophiles caught by vigilante pedo hunters. The pedo hunters should unite and work as a group, not to let them get away and stay safe themselves. A pedo hunter organization can be erected to catch the pedophiles not caught by the police and to catch police officers that are pedophiles themselves. Donald Trump on witness list for civil case involving billionaire pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. U.S. President identified as an individual who may have information. Independent.co.uk. Trump backs accused child molester Roy Moore for Senate. Al Jazeera. Trump hold Jesuit kitchen cabinet, an abomination redux. A planetruth.info.
So I think it's more interesting for you all to read some more intel that I've collected that is really important and on topic, and not to waste your time rather than tell you a story myself. So let's read some more stuff. And I've covered Trump's Jewish cabal. You can also Google that for yourselves in previous broadcasts.
In Gaza or in NASA? What did I read on Daily Stormer? The racist, anti-Semitic, homophobic website. Jewish groups behind shutdown of Trump's latest refugee ban. December 26, 2017. 39. Eric Stryker. Welcome the stranger, protect the refugee, except in Israel. 20 groups that advocate boycotting Israel will now be denied entry. Washington Post. 1A 2018. Israel moves to annex the West Bank. This is how the two-state solution dies. Salon. 1A 2018. Russia, U.S. exploiting Iran protest to sink nuclear deal. Al-Jazeera.com. Jan 6, 2018. As Trump administration expresses support for Iran protests, nuclear deal deadline looms. Voice of America. French President, U.S., Israel, Saudi-Iran policies would lead us to war. The official line pursued by the United States, Israel and Saudi Arabia, who are our allies in many ways, is almost one that would lead us to war, Macron said in his statement, which is unusual in that it lays blame on France's allies rather than its estranged trade partner Iran for a perceived risk of escalation. Jerusalem Post. Solving Iran situation, to prevent a world war over Iran. 1. Iranian leaders are advised to allow inspections in all of their facilities as agreed upon in the nuclear agreement. 2. American leaders are advised to avoid any type of attack on Iran to avoid a world war with its ally Russia. 3. American leaders are advised to first have an agreement with leaders of allied countries of Iran before even thinking about bombing the facilities that do not allow inspections to avoid the Third Jesuit World War, mutually assured destruction, and a 7-year nuclear winter which would be colder than the next ice age. 4. Iran cannot pose any threat to Israel with its Iron Dome and other missile shields. Israel has nuclear weapons which it may use to retaliate. Keep missile shields ready. 5. A list of suspect sites must first be provided before the IA can do an inspection of the site. This list has not been provided yet. So far, according to IAEA and American officials, the United States has not delivered a list of suspect locations. New York Times, August 31, 2017, contradicting Trump, from the UN. Monitor says Iran complies with nuclear deal article. So it's weird they claim Iran refused and will keep on refusing inspection of their nuclear site when the IAEA has not even been supplied with a list of suspect sites with the site in question listed, so an inspection attempt cannot have been made. More all the way or are all the way? Soldiers sold your ass. The Smut Band. Space Sex. Do I suck or do I blow? From Stoner Express 2016. Diversity Sentient Beings. Humans evolved after a female chimpanzee mated with a pig. Extraordinary claim made by American geneticist dailymail.co.uk. New South Carolina law will make it illegal to criticize Israel. January 13, 2018. Eric Stryker, the ADL gets yet another state to shit on the Constitution and ban criticism of Israel. Shouldn't it be illegal to boycott other countries as well then? And why or why not? I think it is impossible to prevent people from boycotting whomever they want to boycott, Monsanto companies for example, tax-exempt corporations etc., because people can simply choose not to buy their products anymore. The government cannot dictate to people which products they have to buy, so you are gonna die fetus mouth. I will make sure of that. Hi Dr. Poison. Believers are like sheep being led by their shepherd into their deaths, believing every little lie that rolls of their tongue and brainwashing themselves with lies. Religion is an illusion. Religion is slavery for the mind. Religion is an abomination. The truth does not always set you free, but knowledge is power. If you'd know how to switch off their brain control machine, their voice of God weapon, you could become truly free and take control of your brainwave again. Destroy it, demolish it. Time or bomb it. Especially their neural torture network. 1. Find out the neural network's location, who is responsible. 2. Expose them. Unite with like-minded people if you think that's better. 3. Make their voice-to-skull messages audible. See how to build a scalar detector. 4. Destroy their neural network, possibly with a computer virus, water, timer bomb, or deleting its program. They use scalar waves, Nikola Tesla's wireless energy, not cancer microwave radiation, to do their torture brain control and to send intracranial messages.
So the racist, homophobic, anti-Semitic website dailystormer.red has disappeared again, the 30th of January. What do you all think? Is this a good thing or a bad thing? Will they now do more attacks because they have to go via encrypted websites, and then it's pulled into criminality basically, having these opinions, forbidden opinions? Well, I already said they didn't cover the 6 Jews depopulating the earth that I have covered, that I've attempted to press charges against. So what are they actually doing? They were exposed as controlled opposition, so they're not even the real thing, but CIA puppets basically. And they mix in homophobia and racism. And they have not exposed any Jesuits or Masons. So controlled opposition, these shills, also called gatekeepers, only exist to prevent any real resistance to the depopulation. the bloody murder, the annihilation of 7 billion people, and the imposition of their satanic Luciferian totalitarian global government to depopulate Earth to 500 million, to enslave everybody with this brain control voice of God weapon, which can also be Satan and Jehovah, Allah, or any other deity you can think of, and it can also simulate any person. So synthetic telepathy, that's not a conspiracy theory, but a conspiracy fact, because the Mijdrecht patent explains how synthetic telepathy is done. So it's weird, you could argue that so few people talk about it, but that is because they can be tortured, and they have all kinds of methods to dissuade people from finding out the truth about these matters. They don't want to be caught or exposed. That's why they form controlled opposition to themselves. They mix the truth, for example, the truth that the Apollo moon landings are fake, with the lie that the Earth is flat, to be able to say that you are a conspiracy theorist or conspiracy wacko that should be put in a straitjacket, that you're crazy, and to laugh at you. And to that's one other method they use, dehumanization, pretending you're a demon or a troll. Etc. It's also explained in my previous broadcasts. I may have erased what I originally wanted to say. And they're using artificial fear, basically. So it's they're using something so it becomes harder for people to say what they want to say and have to say on YouTube. So don't let them play you out against each other and join my anti-global government movement. So the question is, what did they write that got them removed, basically? What was the real reason for the removal, I wonder? Well, it can be racism, anti-Semitism, or homophobia, or incitement to commit crimes, hate crimes, etc. Though they claim they are not doing that, their titles of the articles speak for themselves in many cases. But I think they had some funny and also educational articles at times. So I'm not saying we cannot learn from controlled opposition. I'm saying that real truth tellers expose controlled opposition. That's how you can recognize the real news from the fake news. Fake news parroting what the source is saying, and the real news giving you the inside scoop, the truth about many of these people that they try to portray as the good guys and are defending in these fake news websites, all the mainstream media. websites. So these are other people associated with Jeffrey Epstein, like Bill Clinton and Donald Trump, according to sources online. So I have to close Getty Images. It was merely to demonstrate the fact that you cannot find a picture of Donald Trump with Jeffrey Epstein together on the same photograph. They are usually pictures of the two photographed individually, like this one, and a lot of others basically. Golf can be nice. I like palm trees. So, whatever. Nice picture. I mean, Ivanka looks nice. And palm tree also. Okie dokie. So I'm not gonna cover Daily Stormer now. You can all check that for yourselves via catchedpages.com, also known as the web archive or something. And then it's the one here on the right, archive.org, which is a calendar, so you can see what it looked like on that day. This is, for example, January 29th, and this is also January 29th. It says here. But it's not. One was January 30th, the other one 29th. So the green ones are pages that are completely saved, and the blue ones, I don't know the exact difference. Probably it's somewhere on this site, catchedpages.com. So that can be used to retrieve info that has been removed off the internet, that has disappeared from the internet for some reason or another. Iran says US nuclear policy brings world, quote, closer to annihilation, unquote. France24.com reports. Well, that's also on topic, because I also have in the title the question is posed whether Donald Trump will produce the Jesuits' Third World War. I've covered in my previous broadcast that he has spoken out for a global government, more or less, in my previous broadcasts at the Jesuit dinner table. I've shown the video also. I show it again, if they haven't erased it yet. That's the YouTube video, Trump and Hillary Clinton promote NWO Jesuit dinner party. And at 2 minutes 13 seconds, President Trump says, "We've got to come together, not only as a nation, but as a world community." So then I don't have to play the video, you can watch it for yourselves. Look at it for yourselves. This is the search to check if anybody thinks that Donald Trump is a pedophile. And it's a satanic inversion, so they pretend to do things to catch these pedophiles and to do the right thing, of course. They give that illusion also with their directed energy weapon torture. They can let people say incredible things and do incredible things, of course. Nobody likes getting their teeth tortured out of their mouths. Police ordered to hunt the pedophile hunters and crack down on vigilante groups snaring abusers. It follows a wave of violence and suicides in the wake of amateur investigations, Mirror Co UK claims, though there has not been any wave of violence and suicides. I think, am I correct that they are only mentioning one person that supposedly committed suicide, though that may have been murder, obviously. So that's the way they work. So I don't trust or believe anything I read. Believing is stupid, knowing is smart. And they control the judges with these directed energy weapons, so if you want to do justice, you have to do it yourself if you want justice done. Just is or just ice. PSNY provide pedophile hunter group with evidence, quote, checklist, and quote. Oh yeah, and we are not allowed to see this checklist. And then the question, of course, arises, why hasn't the police caught these pedophiles themselves using this method? They too can pretend to be a little boy or girl online that wants to have sex with grown-ups, and then catch some real pedophiles that would respond to their advertisement or on Facebook or in a chat room. And then other people, of course, can just make broadcasts about it, exposing them, not really meeting them, just but the real pedophiles also know this, so probably they would try to just meet the person, but write that they don't want to have sex, that's forbidden, but that we can meet someday if you like. Perhaps I can give you a free shiatsu hand massage. Massage your little tiny hand. Now I have cookies, and smoothies, all the best things, which I of course would want you to have, because I think you are a wonderful person, really good. So single ladies between 16 and 60 are invited. Because they are satanic pedophiles, I have to be bad enough, otherwise I'm tortured to death myself. Which of course nobody believes, because they're all brain controls, and if they don't have a radiological water filter and President Trump pushes that button over Iran, or rather the Russians will, then even if it's only in the US and Russia, that nuclear cloud will go around the world and contaminate everybody, and then everybody without a radiological water filter will die in a month or two. And if you have one, it's easy to survive, of course. They've constructed this to be able to survive it themselves. So who conceived of the idea to produce a nuclear weapon? Was it a Jewish person, Oppenheimer, or was it someone else? And is there a time-traveling neural network controlling the human mind? The minds of all people without a Tesla plasma shield, that therefore do not produce a Tesla plasma shield to protect their brain and body against these types of wireless energy used to control the human mind, synthetic telepathy, and directed energy weapon tortures, their beam. Mr. Beam. So we're dealing with a very advanced neural network, and I pose the idea of making evidence gathered with this synthetic telepathy technology admissible in court. I've already written these good ideas about pedo hunters uniting and using that synthetic telepathy to control everybody. It's going through everybody's bodies anyway, so it's infringing your right to physical integrity, privacy of course, and freedom of thought when they're altering your brainwaves with this technology. And that make you think, of course, not it's an insane idea, and try to ridicule the truth, to keep their machine on and nobody attempting to switch it off, or checking out if it's even real, if the Malig pattern is real, if it exists in the location of their neural network, so-called supercomputers marked the beast. So they use these names like the beast and demons and God. Actually, it's called God, according to Fritz Springmeier, controlled opposition, associate of Alex Jones. So that's why what the flat earthers and controlled opposition are saying is interesting, because they convey important truths and mix them with lies, so you do have to be careful and check it out, what the source is, and if it's a reproducible study, etc., if it's just a theory or a fact in reality. And I've listed these conspiracy facts, though I was doing other stuff probably when it was read out. You can always rewind to listen to parts of this broadcast. So it's very weird that the police has not used this method themselves to catch the pedophiles. And I applaud them. I think it is wonderful that they are preventing further abuse of children, especially if these kids otherwise would have been murdered and tortured to death in satanic human sacrifice rituals. The satanic calendar is online. So this month is kind of, they have not planned anything for this month, but next month, March, there will be human sacrifices, etc. again. And that's worldwide. They now have moved from center of the Satanists, was in Amsterdam, they've moved to New York. So perhaps that's why some things are so fucked up in the Netherlands, so weird. So to find out who is the dictator, look at what is censored. Breathe and sit properly to get more oxygen to your brain, to better ideas, to produce a better timeline for yourselves and others. It makes sense. And what they are doing is of course insane. We're not overpopulated, and people that want to get rid of 7 billion people are insane. And their job is to protect and serve those people, not to depopulate and torture them. So they produce an evidence checklist. Well, of course, I advise you all to do the same, to become pedo hunters, to pretend that you are a child, a 14-year-old or 11-year-old. I'd have to check the definition, what they see as the age required to be paedophile. Sometimes I have the idea it's not really searching the text, that it's not functioning properly. And it's now not showing that... Okay, then I'll use a different search method. Sorry for waiting, but they sabotage everything. For example, the directory where documents are stored. I want them on my hard disk, not on some other people's hard disk. Where a backup can be placed, of course, backups can be everywhere. So most people don't really know what the definition of a pedophile is to police officers and psychiatrists. And they don't know what an adultophile is and what the criteria are exactly. Weird, I've covered it in my previous broadcast, ephebophiles, paedophiles. Perhaps put in the wrong directory. So let's check the official spelling of the FIBO files then. It's got to be there unless they've erased it. Or they're blocking the search engine from finding it with wireless energy. So here you see that the age is missing from this. With infantophilia, they claim it has to be less than 5 years old. Their main attraction has to be to someone younger than 5 years old. They have to be more attracted to those people than older ones. But with pedophilia, that age is missing in the chronophilia Wikipedia article. That they claim you can change yourself. You can change the article. They're attacking me with hybrid insects in my throat. Sound like Jesuits WWIII. So according to these sources online, they are satanic pedophiles that do human sacrifice. And that's also clear from the Eucharist and the things they let their sheep do, basically. So that's in their logo, the wolves, association with wolves, etc. In their coat of arms or whatever. So we were looking for that age. Criteria for pedophilia extend the cutoff point for prepubescence to age 13. A person who is diagnosed with pedophilia must be at least 16 years old and at least 5 years older than the prepubescent child. for the attraction to be diagnosed as pedophilia. I have to check out something. There seems to be someone in the house. Okay, it's just a visitor. So it's very easy. People can become pedo hunters themselves. You can just pretend to be a little girl or boy, 12 or younger basically, for the criterion pedophilia to stick. And it's illegal to have sex with children younger than 16. And I think that most people would brand them pedophiles if they would be grown-ups themselves and attempt to date a child younger than 16. So you could also pretend to be 15 or 11, any age, even 6. And then pretend that you would like also to have sex, etc. And then make a broadcast of that. Of course, if they believe that you are a child, then the question is, should you do that anonymously or using your real identity? And I also wonder if people are already doing this. So you could also do that anonymously and then produce information on these people with their name on YouTube and make clear that they are attempting to date kids with all the evidence, with what they wrote, etc. That they are attempting to date kids for sex, so not normal dating. So why are you not doing that then? Why am I not doing it? Why am I wasting my time with all this crap? Well, that's because I'm trying to create a better timeline and I'm being tortured to death. So I'm not feeling hunky-dory myself, usually. Perhaps the only reason I'm still alive is my doctor's prescription for the use of cannabis. And you can all think about why they have failed to depopulate Earth to 500 million before the year 2000, which was their original goal. That's better than to help them think about how they could actually pull it off, but often when you're trying to prevent something, then you have to think about how they would attempt to do that, because they're not stupid. There was something, I thought about this earlier on the stairway or somewhere. So perhaps there's something on to erase my memory and influence this broadcast, which I advise you all to put on a DVD-ROM so that the EMP cannot erase it, or at least the web pages with evidence that you want to keep after the Third Jesuit World War, which may be quite easy to survive because of course they want to survive it themselves, their military order. So they use military strategy, including psychological warfare with horrible things techniques they use to impose their will upon these people, to enslave them. So they are tyrants that torture the people and silence them with torture and hypnosis, and stalkers are also involved. But who knows, perhaps it's what I'm doing in my spare time. I'm pedo hunting, and in reality I'm not doing that. One time I ran into a picture of a young girl being raped by a puma. I've reported that to several people, but they claimed they couldn't do anything because it was in another country, etc. And I have not checked since if that is still online. But other than that, I think it's quite hard to find any pedophilia online. Because it is illegal, and they can also use that method to put innocent people in jail. Of course, they can put this stuff on their hard disk to set them up. But then they first have to have that illegal child pornography on their PC themselves to be able to do that. And it may actually be kept on CDs and DVDs and not on their hard disks. That's another thing you might need to know. Forensics is a term you can Google and then find wonderful freeware programs to analyze hard drives and stuff like that, stuff they can use. Because if you erase something, then it can still be retrieved from your hard disk unless you use a special erase method approved by the DoD. So I'd rather make pedo hunters of all of you. That would be better, and focus on the more important things: preventing world war and creating a perfect society in which we all live happily eternally, controlling the factors that control aging. I think that will have a bigger impact. And then there are lots of pedo hunters. So I think that Dr. Cott told the truth about the Dutch, and also the British are doing that, by the way. Police and others, government officials and the powers that be are trying to they are satanic pedophiles, of course, and they control the judges. And they're trying to demonize these pedo hunters and put them in a bad daylight and pretend that they're the criminals instead of the infant-eating pedo Jesuits and Masons depopulating the earth. And they work for them rather than against them, so don't expect them to write the truth or give you any information that's useful that will help you survive their depopulation. Because they're brain-controlled idiots depopulating themselves, planning to spend $1 trillion on nukes instead of controlling the factors that control aging. Or is it just a tactic of President Donald Trump to make the Russians and Chinese beg for abolition of all nuclear weapons worldwide? That they will run into their arms and say, yes, we want to get rid of these nukes now. We're ready to do anything to get rid of these nukes. That would make sense anyway. Blowing ourselves up. In their eyes it would make sense, in my eyes it would not make sense. So I'm against nuclear weapons and I'm against nuclear energy, period. I'm not going to show you the picture of the depleted uranium children. Google that for yourselves. But the mystery of the list disappearing. I've listed all these types of chronophilia, I mean. Clearly from what age to what age. So we can read what they write, but I'd rather find the article and reflect on that more, because I've already read it out in previous broadcasts. I know that this is there somewhere. So how can it not find these terms that are in the article? Okay, while it's searching, we can read the article. No use for a moment of dead silence in this broadcast to make everybody tune out and think this is not happening anymore. Yeah, I think it has to be in one of those. Bill Gates paralyzes 48,000 children in India. Audio Gates. Read the article while I'm searching. I will find it.
The cancer cell phone radiation is used to depopulate Earth and shieldable, blockable, with aluminium foil mistakenly labeled tin foil by many. Scalar waves are only shieldable with a Tesla plasma shield, which is a visible shield of which there is only one picture online. Their illegal directed energy weapon torture has been my main inspiration to write these wonderful stories. Bombing the Masons is okay, they have to deny their own existence anyway. Of course they always mean the opposite of what they say. They are Luciferians, you see? Perhaps they are relatively innocent compared to the Jesuits that murdered my mother and tortured me severely. However, because I cannot write the Jesuits have to deny their own existence, I did not put them in the previous sentence. Of course I have always made clear they should only be executed beyond any reasonable doubt or beyond any shadow of a doubt that they are serial killers that have murdered thousands if not millions of people with directed energy weapons, and it's impossible to get a fair trial since they control the judges with the same torture technology. You could also use mini killer drones. Best is to work alone. Leave no trace. Love your blues away. The Fondles treat. Freed from these higher. Haiti and some African nations are Schiphol countries. Schiphol is an airport in the Netherlands. Some may even be shuttle countries. Relax by thinking of sex. Two-state solution, world war. Nuclear agreement, world war threat imminent? Best to prepare. What if they are generating a geostorm with their ionospheric heaters or FIBA array? Who would or could prevent it or do something about it? Scientists agree Tesla's wireless energy exists. With the neural networks and wireless energy being real combined with the fact that everything is energy, it is impossible for God to prove His existence to us if He would exist. At this point it would still be possible if He would do a miracle that cannot be done with the neural network, computers and wireless energy. In theory it can do everything soon. Bones is the doctor in Star Trek. Never again if Hanukkah. Goyim were born only to serve us. Without that, they have no place in the world, only to serve the people of Israel, he said in his weekly Saturday night sermon on the laws regarding the actions non-Jews are permitted to perform on Shabbat. Goyim were born only to serve us. Without that, they have no place in the world, only to serve the people of Israel. In Israel, death has no dominion over them. With Gentiles, it will be like any person, they need to die, but God will give them longevity. Why? Imagine that one's donkey would die, they'd lose their money. This is His servant. That's why he gets a long life, to work well for this Jew. Why are Gentiles needed? They will work, they will plow, they will reap. We will sin like an effendi and eat. That is why Gentiles were created. Weekly Saturday Night Sermon in October 2010 timesofisrael.com 5 of Ovadia Yosef's most controversial quotations. YouTube vid. Every Jew will get 2,800 Gentile slaves. English subs uploaded by Sleepwalk No More. When the Messiah comes, every Jew will have 2,800 slaves. Simeon Hadarson, Frl. 56D Jewish Talmudic quotes. Facts are factsrance.com/genrelady6/talmud.htm. Total global population 500 million. 2,800 slaves per Jew equals about 178,000 Jews would own about 499 million non-Jewish slaves. Slavery is forbidden by law. Do they actually want to re-implement slavery? Dob Shebi Goyim Rog, even the best of the Goyim, Gentiles, should be killed. Sofrim 15, Rule 10. The book Dob Shebi Goyim Rog, or Kill the Best Gentiles, has been extremely eye-opening in my understanding of race. Reddit.com. To communicate anything to a Goy about our religious relations would be equal to killing all Jews, for if the Goyim know what we teach about them they would kill us all openly. Talmud, Liber David 37. Tob Shbi Goyim Rog. Kill the best Gentiles, Talmud Sanhedrin 59 full text of Kill the Best Gentiles archive.org. So they call non-Jews Gentiles, Goyim and other names to prevent them from finding out what they are saying about the non-Jews. To them it's a racial thing. If your mother is not Jewish you are not a chosen person, you are Goyim, not one of God's people. Dob Shebi Goyim Rog. Kill the Best Gentiles, Talmud, Sanhedrin 59a. The text Talmud Sifrim 1510r. Shimon ben Yochai taught, Gil, even, the good among the Gentiles. Plus a lot of apology what it really means. The penalty for a Goy reading the Talmud, death. Image graphic. Israeli Sephardic leader Rabbi Ovadia Yosef in his weekly Saturday night sermon said that non-Jews exist to serve Jews, 2010. Answers.yahoo.com. What does the Talmudic command Tab Shebi Goim Harag mean? Goim Jerry Yang kicked out of Yahoo. By Talmudic Jew Hedge Fund. Theme Founderground.com. Yehud equals Jew. Is Yahoo Jews company? Yahoo Answers September 6, 2009. Yehud is Jewish in Arabic. Yahoo is savage or brute in English. Yahoo is not a Jewish company. It was started by Jerry Yang. http://n.wikipedia.org/wiki/Jerry_Yang_entrepreneur, and David Philo. http://n.wikipedia.org/wiki/David_Philo. Neither of these guys is Jewish. Ivan Seidenberg is the former chairman and CEO of Verizon Communications Incorporated. Previously, Seidenberg was chairman and CEO of Verizon's predecessor companies, 9X. Born into a Jewish family, Seidenberg began his career in telecommunications as a cable splicer straight from high school. He was wounded in Vietnam, and subsequently earned a degree in mathematics from Lehman College, part of the City University of New York. CEO equals Chief Executive Officer, so the original CEO of Verizon was Jewish and Verizon owns Yahoo. Iran Vietnam. JewWorldOrder.org. Jew World Order. Muslim terrorists equals Israel equals CIA equals MI6 equals Jews in disguise, defaming, terrorizing, and plundering the world. 1. Problem 2. Reaction 3. Solution. The elite Jews create the illness, then sell the cure. They create chaos and terrorism, then sell the solution. Nothing about the Jesuits and Masons on the page. Facebook.com/citizens.action.network. Data Selfie is a browser extension that tracks you while you are on Facebook to show you your own data traces and reveal what machine learning algorithms could predict about your personality based on that data. We're making changes to the YouTube Partner Program. As a result, your channel will no longer be eligible for monetization starting February 20, 2018. Learn more. YouTube Partner Program Overview. We'll be making updates to the YouTube Partner Program eligibility thresholds starting February 20, 2018. Channels will need to have 4,000 watch hours in the previous 12 months and 1,000 subscribers to be reviewed to join the program. Get more details on the YouTube Creator blog. support.google.com/youtube/answer/72851. Ulrich Kaufman. I hope President Trump will stop the cancer chemtrails. Project Cloverleaf 1998. Before that there were no chemtrails nor contrails. See pictures and films that were made before 98 that do not show the long white lines visible in pictures and movies made after 1998 proving they are not cancer contrails but cancer chemtrails. CIA's Evergreen Aviation. Also see cancer chemtrail ingredients. There may be a few pictures of chemtrails made before 1994 but 99% of the pictures and movies made before 1998 do not show these long white lines in the sky proving these are chemtrails not contrails. This is another conspiracy fact, not theory, until people prove me wrong. Prince predicted 9/11 and chilling performance in 1998, Daily Star. Daily Star. So did Michael Jackson and Alex Jones, Beware, Controlled Opposition, and many others. The Jesuits let some of the insiders and controlled opposition know about these Jesuit orchestrated events before they happen and they want to pretend a deity, demon or angel informed them and it was divine precognitive intelligence supplied to them to make themselves look good. Jesuits did Hiroshima and Nagasaki. You know they came out alive at ground zero and want to pretend that was a miracle but you and I both know real miracles do not exist. And God does not exist either. If we want a hereafter we must create it ourselves. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Spock played by Leonard Nimoy. Quote, the needs of the many weigh as heavy as the needs of the few. Live forever and prosper. What the few need may also be needed by the many. Democracy, voting, is one way to deal with this. Another is best jobs for the people with the highest grades. To create the best society possible, the people that are best qualified for the job must get the job, no room for favoritism. The idea behind these lines is, if the many can only be saved at the cost of the few then it must be done, but this is almost never the case. We should always try to save the maximum amount of human lives to learn how to control the factors that control aging and to stay alive ourselves. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the one. Isn't that slogan that produced whole wars? Self-sacrifice, giving your life to protect the group you are in, your country, is a heroic act to them, though it is a despicable act to kill your fellow humans. War is always a crime and there is always a better way. Universal peace now. Just trying to be critical of a slogan I have always liked. Do not let them divide you, stay united against the evil depopulators. Boycott Monsanto and, tax-exempt, corporations you do not like or think should be boycotted and all other entities that must be banned for a better timeline. Fuck has CK in it. Everybody bombs to rule the world. Bears for tears. It's a joke because everybody wants to rule the world is a lie. Some people are against any one man or woman ruling the world. They may see centralization as power to the pedo and decentralization as power to the people and know about the despicably evil Jesuits and Masons that have infiltrated governments worldwide with the plan to depopulate the earth and rule the world from Jerusalem, which is also clear from their book quotes. Because power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely, many people know that the world may not and cannot be ruled by one person. Mao was a Yale man with skull and bones. Zaid Yale in China was run by OSS operative Reuben Holden, the husband of Bush's cousin, and also a member of Skull and Bones. Yale University motto, Hebrew, Rim Thumb Mem pronounced Toarim Wetumim. They are connected with divination in general, and chloromancy in particular. Most scholars suspect that the phrase refers to a set of two objects used by the high priest to answer a question or reveal the will of God, comparable to dice, polyhedral objects used to randomize decisions, called seer stone by some. Because they do not work and there is no God, they are not allowed to test God by asking if it will be a boy or a girl, yet this method of divination was used to determine whether someone was guilty or innocent, and perhaps even to determine if the person should be pelted to death with stones. Lux et veritas, Latin. For people that want to accuse me of Nazism, there is no time. There really are 6 Jews depopulating the earth, which I have listed in my broadcasts and attempted to press charges against. They have killed and are killing millions of people. Any comments of people accusing me of anti-Semitism and or Nazism will be removed. If I run into them, that is. The voice of God weapon and synthetic telepathy must not be underestimated, and the secrecy surrounding it must be removed. Several times I have made clear that not all Jewish people are involved in depopulating the earth, that I am not one of those that want to gas all the Jews and told people to beware of controlled opposition. If people do not want to hear, they have to feel my mother, whom they have tortured to death with directed energy weapons, used to say. We are gonna have to take ourselves out in teams if we are serious about depopulating the earth. Organize paid collective suicide marches, etc. Iran has not refused the inspections of their nuclear facilities yet, because we know the IA first has to get a list of suspect sites with the name of the site they supposedly refused inspection of before they will attempt to do any inspection. Yet the mainstream media pretends Iran did refuse these inspections, and so does the president. YouTube video to watch. Third Jesuit World War over nuclear agreement, not two-state solution, world war or both? Question mark. If it happens, take cover and travel in the direction the wind, caused by the nukes going off, is blowing.
Okay, I'm back. So I didn't hear anything that was read out by the speech engine. So I might completely disagree with it, and it may be stuff others wrote, and it can be satire. So I'll keep making clear that not all Jewish people are involved in this. As a matter of fact, most of them I think are not. And that it's also proven that there are lots of non-Jewish people involved in depopulating the earth. And I'm just informing people what they did to me and but other people wrote about them that have exposed them to create a better timeline for everyone, including the paedophile and all other humans, which I consider the most superior life form in the universe until proven otherwise. Humans are the most superior life form, so it's not meant in a racist manner. My intro to this program about humans being superior, and thus I see you as a superior being. So, yeah, I think this stuff is more important than the article that I'm trying to retrieve. But it cannot have disappeared off my hard disk somehow. It's a mystery to me, because there are several articles in which I've listed the chronophilia, basically also. And I've also covered these articles in my previous broadcast, so it's also in the videos on YouTube if they have erased these articles. And then it's possible they've also erased my videos, so I should check that then. But I doubt it myself, basically, but okay, I could check it. For example, I made a video showing the explosives going off clearly that brought down the WTC, which was also covered by Professor not Alex Jones. Professor Jones, not Alex Jones. And yeah, after also fucking with my mind and with my throat, and it becomes hard to speak, so let the speech engine inform you. It's information I collected on the internet, and also sometimes my own opinion and jokes, etc.
Distance Amsterdam Mijdrecht about 24 kilometers. Blast radius is a better term than range because they test on missile ranges. The bomb was attached to an 800-kilogram parachute, which gave the release and observer planes time to fly about 45 kilometers, 28 miles, away from ground zero, giving them a 50% chance of survival. Wiki/Zar_Bomba. Does anybody know the exact radius of the blast wave, or do airborne nuclear weapons not exist? They write about how high the mushroom cloud would be, but that should not interest anybody. The range of the blast wave is more important to know. All buildings in the village of Severny, both wooden and brick, located 55 kilometers, 34 miles, from ground zero within the Sukhoi Nose test range, were destroyed. Okay, so then it is best to go underground right now if you have a cellar or bomb shelter, until this Iran thing blows over. They want to depopulate the earth, so there may not be an air alarm before the nukes go off, and everything above ground in Amsterdam and Mijdrecht will be swept away. According to my precognitive vision, death will be instantaneous for people living above ground in Mijdrecht. In my precognitive vision, I was in my room, first floor, and it was a sunny day, so there was no air alarm, otherwise I would have been in the cellar. Cellars love the bomb. Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Start Worrying and Hate the Bomb. The global government conspiracy is a conspiracy fact, not a conspiracy theory. Potentially hazardous asteroid the size of the Burj Khalifa is heading towards Earth at 67,000 miles per hour. The 2002 AJ-129 asteroid has been classed as potentially hazardous by NASA. It will fly past on 4th February at speeds of 67,000 miles per hour, 107,826 km/h. This makes it nearly 15 times faster than the world's quickest manned aircraft. It is set to pass by our planet on the 4th February at a distance of around 4,208,641 kilometers away, which is relatively close in space terms. Is it possible they have made a calculation error, and why does NASA call it potentially hazardous? NASA describes asteroids as hazardous if they come within 4,600,000 miles. 7,402,982 kilometers, of our planet. Could this be the meteor mentioned by Nostradamus in his quatrains? Do they know the name of the person that calculated how close this meteor will pass by Earth? dailymail.co.uk There may be more Nazis than there are Jewish people. Jewish people are about 0.2% of the world's global population, Muslims about 25%. Israel unveils plans for a racist underground border wall. The Israeli army on Thursday revealed details of a massive underground barrier being built along the border with the Gaza Strip in a bid to neutralize the threat of Palestinian attack tunnels. How can we then not have underground Mexican attack tunnels as well if this was in the mainstream media? That movie with that balloon going over the wall was also pretty impressive. Can't they just come in as tourists? No person is illegal and aliens do not exist. Suspended sentences. When a court imposes a custodial sentence of between 14 days and 2 years, or 6 months in the magistrate's court, the court may choose to suspend the sentence for up to 2 years. This means that the offender does not go to prison immediately, but is given the chance to stay out of trouble and to comply with up to 12 requirements set by the court. These include doing unpaid work, being subject to a curfew, undertaking a treatment program for alcohol or drugs, being subject to a rehabilitation activity requirement. If the offender does not comply with the requirements or is convicted of another offense during the suspension period, they are likely to serve the original custodial term in addition to the sentence they get for the new offense. In 2016, 56,317 offenders had a suspended sentence order imposed, representing 5% of offenders sentenced. These statistics are taken from the Ministry of Justice's Criminal Justice Statistics publications, sentencingcouncil.org.uk. Antonyms for trauma: benefit, blessing, comfort, contentment, favor, happiness, health, joy, calm, order, peace, alleviation, healing, help, relief. Videos on YouTube call Las Vegas shooting a hoax. BBC News. How come my Google search engine does not find all these videos any more than only articles and videos of the MSM claiming lots of people claim it's a hoax and attempting to label them fake news instead of the mainstream media? Some people claim to know they are lying, you know? YouTube revises search results following outrage over Las Vegas. Why are the mainstream media fake news people so convinced the Las Vegas shooting was not a staged fake shooting, a hoax, like the fake Apollo moon landings, of the NASA Freemasons? Facebook, Google and YouTube all help to spread fake news, especially now they are controlled by them. Certain truths cannot be found in the mainstream media, however only on these websites Google, YouTube and Facebook are trying to selectively block. You also have their robots posting messages in forums, chats and comments sections. Wiki is the CI Vatican edited encyclopedia. And what else is new? Why was the KnowThisInfo.com YouTube channel banned? To find out who's the dictator, look at what is censored. Las Vegas shooting is a hoax plus fake. They are on PSYOPs. Our information comes from them. CIA FBI TPTB Max Malone, YouTube. Las Vegas shooting hoaxer collects nearly $50,000 on fake injury. Las Vegas shooting hoax agent Doug Cotter was not injured. This is fake. All claims otherwise are categorically false. Through mere lies and obfuscation, the Cotter family has purged some $45,000 plus from unwitting, vulnerable victims. KnowThisInfo.com. Adult actress Stormy Daniels, whose real name is Stephanie Clifford, said she had an affair with Trump after they met at a celebrity golf tournament in July 2006, months after Barron Trump was born. Trump's lawyer Michael Cohen arranged for Daniels to receive $130,000 in hush money before the 2016 presidential election, according to a Wall Street Journal report. Still, Trump vehemently denies any sexual encounter with Daniels, according to Cohen. NightDailyNews.com. YouTube video, Top 10 Reasons Why Mechanical Automatic Watches Suck. 1. Quartz watches are way more accurate, especially atomic quartz watches. Even the cheapest atomic watch is more accurate than the supposedly most accurate mechanical watch, the $26,000 Zenith watch. 2. Mechanical watches have moving parts, so they are very fragile compared to digital LCD watches. 3. No timer, no alarm, no stopwatch, no weather data, no sunrise-sunset data. Make sure the watch has airplane mode and an e-ink display when buying so-called smartwatches. 4. Mechanical watches require servicing every 5 years or so. Officially. 5. Mechanical watches are often bigger and heavier than quartz watches, also more little tiny fucking parts make it heavier. 6. Every time you decide to take off a mechanical automatic watch for a couple of days, you have to set the time again, risking completely ruining the watch when you set the date during times that is not allowed, for example when adjusting, say, a Breitling chronomat date. 7. Mechanical automatic watches always make noise. An LCD watch does not make any noise unless you set a timer or alarm. 8. No compass. 9. No watch faces to choose from. Automatic mechanical watches always look the same. You cannot create your own watch faces for it like for the Pebble, Amazfit Pace and other Coolyank display watches. 10. Not powered by sunlight. The automatic watches require wrist movement, mechanical watches require winding. 11. Bonus reasons, no phone and no camera. 12. For fun, not all loom is created equal. 13. It's so steel. Do you think there will be a third Jesuit world war over the nuclear agreement or two-state solution world war? And why or why not? Best to be prepared with a radiological water filter and storable food anyway. You have a lot more viewers than I do, so congratulations. Peace. Reaction to the video, Occult Literature 135, The New Dream Book Hammer 666. Donald John Trump, The Hill. Were tactical nukes set off in Syria or not? No EMP? Wouldn't the EMP destroy their cameras if these were tactical nukes? How could they have recordings of supposed nuclear tests if the EMP would erase the recording and break their camera? Are airborne nuclear weapons even real? What do you all think? Please let me know in the comments or Skype ProLogic 999. Declassified secrets, miniaturized nuclear weapons, mini nukes, subkiloton neutron bomb, North Korea zigzag ground 0481 views. Nuclear neutron strike hits Yemen carried out by Israel Lions ground. Best to refrain from using the word kike because people will assume you are an anti-Semite, a Jew hater, if you use the word. They are not gonna think you mean only bad Jewish people, not the good ones. Get a radiological water filter and storable food just in case a third Jesuit world war is planned. The genocide of 65 million Russians. 530. The following content has been identified by the YouTube community as inappropriate or offensive to some audiences. Robert Wilton's works published in 1920 details the genetic backgrounds of all USSR and Bolshevik revolution leaders responsible for the genocide of up to 65 million Russians. The Wikipedia, the CIA Vatican-controlled encyclopedia, list of genocides by death toll does not list the Native American Indian Holocaust toll, and they pretend the Jewish Holocaust had the highest death toll. The biggest genocide in human history didn't occur in Nazi Germany, but on American soil. 100 million Native Americans were slaughtered and lost their homeland, other sources claim. Drooling elite. If the AI's intelligence is superior to all human intelligence, you could argue we should let an AI rule the world. Conspiracy facts. 1. Cancer chemtrails Project Cloverleaf, CIA's evergreen aviation planes. 2. People that have conspired to depopulate the earth, Committee of 300, Jesuits, Masons and 6 Jews that are depopulating earth with book quotes that prove they think it would be good if 93% of us humans would die. Most people would find that a horrible disaster that must be prevented by any means necessary. 3. Apollo moon landing hoax. The Apollo moon landings are 100% fake for sure. See my top 10 of things that prove the Apollo moon landings are fake. Several NASA videos show astronauts handling objects, and this is audible via the microphone in their spacesuit, which is impossible because there is no sound on the moon because of the vacuum. No air on the moon means there is no sound on the moon. NASA claims this themselves. 4. Conspiracy to impose a totalitarian Luciferian global government upon the people of planet Earth. Some people are openly advocating a global government, power to the pedo instead of power to the people. Centralization versus decentralization is what it's really about. 5. Killer vaccine depopulation conspiracy. The list of pandemics caused by vaccinations and the ingredients by themselves make clear this conspiracy is real. It is part of the depopulation conspiracy. 6. Conspiracy to brain control the global population.
So something is happening to the speech engine. The CPU is at 100%. What could it be? System interrupts, supposedly. Weird. I think they do that somehow. So Anonymous is CIA. Wake up, people. It may be better to use your real name, so that people know you're not making stuff up. And that you're not CIA.
Psychiatrists do not do any tests to check whether the voices patients hear are induced, and they still apply electroshock, though it's proven that electroshock always increases the patient's suicide risk and causes brain damage by MRI scans. The fact that so few people talk about synthetic telepathy as described in the Moloch patent and control of human emotions as described in the Yama patent proves they are brain controlled, or at least programmed not to talk about it. There are several projects, programs and operations that describe how people are brain controlled. Their brainwave is modified. That's one of the reasons I do not call it mind control, also because mind control is probably a hypnotic trigger word itself. 7. Cancer cell phone depopulation. Apple removing the App Store from iTunes so people have to use cancer cell phone radiation if they want to install an app. Many watches that have no airplane mode that irradiate you constantly with this extremely harmful cancer-causing microwave radiation are sold on eBay. Other watches simply do not work unless you pair them with your cancer cell phone, and the amount of these devices is only increasing. Keep it in airplane mode or switch it off for your own health and the health of the people around you. Use aluminum foil when updating the device using cancer cell phone radiation. Iran threatens U.S. Navy ships amid massive war drills. Washington Free Beacon 2301-2018. The priest was sentenced to a life of prayer and penance by the Vatican after he was found guilty of sexually abusing boys. How am I to interpret this? A life of penance and prayer in jail? Or should the interpretation be, you all go to jail if you have sex with a minor but priests do not? From Pope apologizes to sex abuse victims, defends accused chilling bishop. CatholicNews.com. I understand they control the judges with directed energy torture weapons, so a fair trial is impossible anyway, but it's kind of weird when people like Adil Sultan, 39, are jailed for 17 months after pleading guilty to merely attempting to meet a child online, and priests do not go to jail for sexually abusing boys. Or not. President's decision on solar tariffs is a loss for America. See most referenced Solar Energy Industries Association 2301-2018. Netanyahu standing alongside Pence. Iran nuclear deal should be nixed if not fixed. Earlier today, U.S. Vice President Mike Pence spoke at length about the Iran deal at the Knesset, and said that the U.S. Embassy will be moved to Jerusalem by the end of next year. During his speech, Pence also announced that the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem will open by the end of 2019, adding that if both sides agree, the United States of America will support a two-state solution. This comment garnered a round of applause. Pence calls Iran nuclear deal disaster, warns of U.S. withdrawal. Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty 2301-2018. Menes van der Lubbe was a Dutch council communist tried, convicted and executed for setting fire to the German Reichstag building on February 27, 1933, an event known as the Reichstag fire. Wikipedia. So, if I understand it correctly, no matter how much they try to accuse the Nazis, the fire was lit by a communist. Is that correct? Round, Able. Is Bitcoin protected against EMP? Are banks protected against TMP? Are fly-by-wire planes protected against TMP? Is your PC protected against TMP? Is your hard disk drive protected against TMP? Better check and make it so. On the homophobic, racist and anti-Semitic Daily Stormer website we find the article, Antifa faggots declare they'll murder anyone who questions the government or media. When we scroll down a little bit we see drawings of supposed Antifa members, possibly what the writers see as archetypal Antifa figures, bearing the text, "Hi. I'm with European Antifa. I need to wear this mask to hide my identity because my views are French and I'm an anarchist. I get state funding." Another drawing with text that reads, "I'm Antifa. I have a liberal arts degree and still live in my parents' basement because capitalism oppresses me. I'll pepper spray you in the face when you're not looking, then run away. It's okay to attack people because free speech violates safe spaces and words hurt feelings. Everyone who disagrees is a Nazi. Illumination, using aluminum foil to protect against illumination." 17 articles that show people's blood structure was changed caused by exposure to microwave radiation. 999 ProLogic 999.blog2blog.nl. Main brain control patents, apparatus and method for remotely monitoring and altering brain waves. Inventors Robert G. Miller QS 3951134. A filing date August 5, 1974. Communication system and method including brainwave analysis and or use of brain activity. Inventors Aris Mardarashian US 6011991. A filing date December 7, 1998. If you know any other important brain control patents please Skype me. Skype ProLogic 999. YouTube video to watch. They are lying to you about how everybody is mind controlled and DEW torture overview. They pretend it's done with microwaves, pretend they need chip implants in people's brain to brain control them. They form fake TI support groups that cannot help anyone without a Tesla plasma shield and pretend that what they do is non-invasive, but in reality these non-invasive wireless torture weapons are used in an invasive manner to depopulate the earth. Hypocrite, a person who pretends to have virtues, moral or religious beliefs, principles, etc., that he or she does not actually possess, especially a person whose actions belie stated beliefs. Greek hypocrite is a stage actor, hence one who pretends to be what he is not. Bigot, a person who is utterly intolerant of any differing creed, belief, or opinion. If you are sure your opinion is the best opinion and all other opinions are inferior, being a bigot may be the right thing to be. Acting prevents dying. I am disconnected. I am that connected, the pedocrats. It pushes against the particles that it ejects itself. According to several sources, no tactical nukes were used in Syria but fuel bombs, thermobaric bombs. This is true if there is no nuclear contamination and digital cameras were not destroyed by the EMP. Because of the mushroom-like cloud, many believe these were tactical nukes. Timed to ejaculate. Based erased. Decadent, characterized by or reflecting a state of moral or cultural decline. Philanthropist. A wealthy individual who gives money to charity or other programs designed to help others. You're fantasizing. Man dies after he was sucked into MRI machine. NightDailyNews.com January 30, 2018. An MRI scan turned tragic when a patient's relative was sucked up into the machine and died, according to police in India. Rajesh Maru was visiting an unidentified family member at the Nair Hospital in Mumbai, and authorities said he carried an oxygen tank into the room with a magnetic resonance imaging scanner on Saturday. Why the fuck would a visitor carry an oxygen tank and be allowed to be near a patient undergoing an MRI scan? Maru, 32, was pulled towards the machine through magnetic force, and preliminary reports in Indian media said that he died from ingesting liquid oxygen that sprung from the ruptured tank. If the person is not magnetic, he must have held onto the liquid oxygen tank while it was sucked into the MRI, which is weird. If the magnetic force would be so big, the tank would be sucked out of the hands of the visitor by force, since the person is not magnetic. It seems more likely to me the visitor was not carrying the oxygen tank, but that the tank was in the room by mistake and the liquid oxygen or tank hit him, or that Rajesh Maru was killed like so many people are murdered in hospitals. To depopulate the earth, of course, so then it's okay. Alchemy, the medieval forerunner of chemistry, concerned with the transmutation of matter, in particular with attempts to convert base metals into gold or find a universal elixir. Occult sciences, such as alchemy and astrology. They are all brain controlled by a time-traveling neural network, synthetic telepathy. This is why they do not build a Tesla plasma shield to protect their brainwave against modification, why so few people are attempting to control the factors that control aging, why the governments are trying to depopulate the earth instead of control the factors that control aging, why they cannot decide to get rid of all nuclear weapons of self-destruction, why almost no one talks about brain control, synthetic telepathy as explained in the Malik patent. Killer vaccinations of certain types are now mandatory in Italy, for example, why most people believe the lie that aluminium foil does not shield against microwaves, cancer, cell phone radiation, why my channel has an impossibly low amount of viewers, and why no one has joined my anti-global government movement yet. YouTube video: Trump and Hillary Clinton promote NWO at Jesuit dinner party. $1 1 year ago, 27,874 views at 2 minutes and 13 seconds. President Trump says, "We've got to come together not only as a nation but as a world community."
Immunize yourselves with colloidal silver and use the probiotics when you use colloidal silver. So never take the killer vaccines used to depopulate the earth. It's also clear from the ingredients. And of course the list of pandemics caused by vaccinations. So I thought I had searched in this third Writings for Universal Peace article, and I did not find it before. It's in this video, I'm not gonna check it, but here it is described. But in this article it was pedophilia age 11 or younger, and hebephilia 11 to 14. And then we have this one. So perhaps Wikipedia changed it, and it can be a trick to get the pedophiles off the hook, basically, so that they can say, no, I'm not a pedophile, I'm a phebophile, whatever. And here it is children aged 13 or younger. And this was of a later date, I think, this article. But I used Wikipedia, so I didn't make up these ages myself. It's from the DSM-5 or whatever, 6, Diagnostic Statistical Manual used by the psychiatrists. I think I can check it, but I think that's in there. So pedophilia is a disease, or at least they see it as a disease. Though it's clear that most people are more attracted to young people because of evolution. They are attracted to whoever is most fertile. It's a natural attraction that goes on between people while they are making love, while they're having sex. Which is just making each other feel good. A form of massage, basically. Which makes sense. Killing each other in bloody wars makes no sense. It's illogical. Not to say bloody stupid, of course. The ages for hebephilia 11 to 14 and pedophilia younger than 13 overlap. So you could also go for this list: pedophilia age 11 or younger and hebephilia 11 to 14. But I doubt if they've changed it. They can also control my mind to a certain extent. Our brainwave is electromagnetic, so if they modify it, then there's no defense possible against that without a Tesla plasma shield. That's the only thing that can block Nikola Tesla's wireless energy. And all scientists agree that that's real. And in fact, it's the same thing as scalar waves. Some types of scalar waves travel faster than the speed of light. And I usually keep my scalar generator off during the broadcast because of the CPU. And it is something with system interrupts that they do probably with wireless energy, and then the USB is malfunctioning, and then my camera would also disappear. That happened in previous broadcasts recently. But now it's still working. Hurrah! So yoga, head roll exercise, and breathing. Breathing in when your head is tilted backwards, and out when your chin touches your chest. And the other way around, like that. And then you can hear clicking sounds sometimes in the back of your head, which is normal, they say. But then you already feel better, and then you're bound to have better ideas now. I'm wearing my Misfit base with my own watch face. It's a new one I made. You cannot really see it without the extra light. Well, it's the Roboto font is used for the clock, but it has mandala behind it basically, so it's not a normal clock just showing white letters, but it has I can also turn the light on this thing. Timer. So the timer would not have gone off probably. When it's reloading stuff. Is it gonna do that again? Now the screen is black. Oh, there it is. So it's all sabotaged by them to steal time, to make me look like a fool, by the neural network, and they can do that to everyone because they control the human mind. So even if you don't look foolish, they can make everybody believe that you look foolish. Double tap on the screen didn't work. Okay, keep it on 1 so that I can show the watch face. There you see, it's pretty interesting. And the straight bar disappears in ambient mode, so and it's downloadable. I'm gonna do a broadcast about this watch, so I thought I'd just show it. It's kind of cool. So that's the Misfit base, and it has the airplane mode, so that you don't have to irradiate yourself all day with a cancer cell phone device on your wrist. To be smart about it. So these smartwatches are stupid. So let's read it then. I finally found the article.
I have a dreamland. Pedophilia is a psychological disorder in which an adult or older adolescent experiences a sexual preference for prepubescent children, age 11 or younger. Nepiophilia ages 0 to 3, pedophilia age 11 or younger, hebephilia 11 to 14, ephebophilia age 15 to 19, teleophilia age 18 to 80, gerontophilia age 80 and up. Get rid of the people responsible for the World War, possibly the leader of the Jesuits, Adolfo Nicolas. Instead of the innocent civilians they want you to kill, take over, end the war, create the non-fictional utopian society ASAP to speed up finding ways to control the 7 factors that control aging during our lifetimes. They are always the ones to tell you who your enemies are, but they're never the ones to fight and to die. From the song Life's in the Balance. This would be the 3rd Jesuit World War. Watch out. Nepiophilia, also called infantophilia, is a subtype of pedophilia. It is used to refer to a sexual preference for infants and toddlers, ages 0 to 3 or those under age 5. Pedophilia is used for individuals with a primary or exclusive sexual interest in prepubescent children aged 13 or younger. Hebephilia is defined as individuals with a primary or exclusive sexual interest in 11 to 14-year-old pubescents. Ephebophilia is the primary or exclusive adult sexual interest in mid to late adolescents, generally ages 15 to 19. Mesophilia, derived from the Greek mesos, intermediate, is a sexual preference for middle-aged adults. Teleophilia, from Greek teleos, full-grown, is a sexual preference for adults. Gerontophilia is a sexual preference for the elderly. This means the ages for hebephilia, 11 to 14, and pedophilia, younger than 13, overlap. The other chronophilia age ranges do not overlap. The term chronophilia was used by John Money to describe a form of paraphilia in which an individual experiences sexual attraction limited to individuals of particular age ranges. The term has not been widely adopted by sexologists, who instead use terms that refer to the specific age range in question. An arguable historical precursor was Richard von Krafft-Ebing's concept of age fetishism. Dr. Death sounds sensible to me. Everything you do online is recorded in X-key score secret, illegal, surveillance in SAMI5 Mossad.
So they, quote, expose, unquote, these things to hide synthetic telepathy and their directed energy weapon torture, the way people really are controlled. That's why the mainstream media is filled with spying on your emails and your cancer cell phones, not with spying on your brain waves and brain mapping everyone, remotely controlling people, like remotely controlled robots with this technology that can only be shielded with the Tesla plasma shield. And perhaps no one has one on, So then a time-traveling neural network could erase them as well and play them out against each other. So it is following a certain agenda, and by doing what it wants, you are following that agenda, you are contributing to whatever it's doing, including, if that's depopulating you, depopulating yourself. But to the brain-controlled people, that idea seems insane. So perhaps I'm also depopulating myself. Who knows? What the health benefits of smoking are. It's always about these negative effects, and I've read online that they are using the picture of lungs of a coal mine worker and then pretend that that's a smoker's lung of a smoker. And I saw the inside of my lung with the endoscopic camera. I didn't really like the procedure. And my lung looked fine. I think there was something else that I wanted to do earlier that I forgot about somehow. We can read this one. This is Mirror. Did I read this already? Well, I know I read it, but I'm not sure if it was in this broadcast already. So the government is criminal because they have to take their orders from these intelligence agencies that are controlled by the pedo Jesuits. Thus they are all satanically controlled with synthetic telepathy and torture weapons, and a fair trial is impossible. So that's why the police are not catching the real pedophiles. And the people that want to depopulate the earth, they don't even allow me my right, they illegally refuse me my right to press charges in the matter of incitement to commit genocide, which is clear from their book quotes and their legal Georgia Guidestones, which cost them $1 million. That they want to depopulate to 500 million. And the book quotes are all over the internet, so you don't really need my website for that. There are millions of people studying this. But if there's anybody doing something about it, is another matter.
Police ordered to hunt the pedophile hunters and crack down on vigilante groups snaring abusers. It follows a wave of violence and suicides in the wake of amateur investigations. 6920 shares 27 comments. By Oliver Milne, 1009, 16 Jan 2018 updated 15:51, January 16, 2018. News: pedophile hunters scour the internet to find potential abusers, but their days could be numbered. Image, Wales on Sunday. 6920 shares. 27. Get daily updates directly to your inbox. National police chiefs have ordered local forces to crack down hard on vigilante groups who track down suspected pedophiles. The guidance tells officers not only not to work with groups who are trying to catch potential child predators, but to pursue them with the full force of the law. Officers have been told to investigate potential harassment, privacy and violent offenses committed by the vigilante groups, as well as those they accuse of child grooming. The Times reports that the internal guidance was issued to detectives last year, and warns officers that vigilante groups have little or no consideration for the safeguarding requirements of victims of the pedophiles they have outed. Scott Rivers was given a cease and desist order by police last year for his work catching pedophiles. Image, Express and Echo, SWNS.com. Read more. I wouldn't do anything unless they were willing. Pedophile tries to justify meeting boy, 15, for sex. Police are reportedly concerned after an explosion in the number of amateur groups who are targeting child abusers. Across the UK, 75 groups, with names such as Dark Justice and The Hunted One and Plymouth Against Pedophiles, scour the internet in search of potential child rapists.
So don't be surprised if the little boy or little girl turns into Batman or Wonder Woman or Supergirl.
In November last year, Devon and Cornwall police raised concern with a paedophile hunter from Mijdrecht and asked him to stop undertaking entrapment activities. For years, Scott Rivers was posing as a young girl on chat sites in a bid to expose pedophiles and claims to have unmasked at least 21 sexual predators. On November 20, Mr. Rivers visited Heavytree Police Station in Exeter dressed as Batman, to hand in evidence he had formed about a child predator, which prompted officers to hand Mr. Rivers an official cease and desist letter. A cease and desist order is an official order handed down by a government agency or court directing a person or entity to stop doing something immediately. The crackdown comes after a wave of violence following vigilante attempts to bring abusers to justice. David Baker, 43, killed himself in October 4 days after being confronted by pedophile hunters. He was detained by Hampshire police. His family said the vigilantes failed to consider the repercussions of their actions. Members of a group called the Hunted One surrounded a man they claimed was grooming a teenage girl on Easter Day at Blue Water Shopping Centre near Dartford, sparking a violent scuffle. Pedophile Mark Smith was arrested in Swindon after being confronted by a pedophile hunter last year. Image, PA. But officers are concerned that some pedophile hunting groups don't follow the law when investigating. Image, Wales on Sunday. Read more. Pervert mentioning meeting boy, 15. For sex with bottle of baby oil snared on camera.
So the Mirror writes about a wave of suicides, and that was David Baker. Well, if you're depopulating the earth, you have to begin somewhere, I guess.
The abuse suspect was later jailed for a child sex offense and 2 of the vigilantes admitted a fray. 2 men were attacked by 3 masked loyalist paramilitaries from Predator Catcher's Knee in North Belfast this week. Hundreds, if not thousands of people are posing as children online to catch potential sexual predators, and while their actions have led to scores of prosecutions, it has raised concerns about vigilantism and the safety of both suspects and accusers. Unlike police officers, vigilante groups do not have the same strict guidelines to abide by or have their work scrutinized. Officers are told that they must not work with the groups or endorse their activities in any way, and they should make clear that confrontation and exposing abusers online could put people at risk, and warns the wrong people could be exposed. Chief Constable Simon Bailey, of the National Police Chiefs Council, speaking last year, said such actions could lead to diverting significant resources into the protection of suspects. Bailey, the national policing lead on child abuse investigation, told The Guardian so-called pedophile hunters who reveal the identity of suspected pedophiles could give suspects the opportunity to destroy evidence before the police can investigate them. Convicted pedophiles like Christopher Gamlin have been caught by vigilantes like Keeping Kids Safe, Image, Wales Online. Read more. Why didn't anyone warn us a cannibal was coming over here? Anger as freed British pervert flees to US town. National Police Chiefs Council, NPCC, guidance tells officers not to work with these groups or endorse their activities. The document says they should emphasize that exposing and confronting abusers could put people at risk and preserve evidence quickly in case groups destroy it. It also warns that the wrong people could end up being outed as pedophile by mistake or even intentionally. Bailey added, so-called pedophile hunters are taking risks they don't understand and can undermine police investigations. Alexander Litvinenko accused Vladimir Putin of being a pedophile. Independent.co.uk. President Putin is a pedophile with links to the Russian mafia and Colombian drug barons. TheTimes.co.uk. Vladimir Putin accused of being a pedophile by murdered spy. Starpulse.com. Trump, the Dutch king and British royals are regularly accused of pedophilia as well. Putin, the West is controlled by satanic pedophiles. Anonymous. News.co. Unknown. IMUS. Somebody should bomb and snipe these real pedophile child murderers now. Yes, you, it. Satanic murderers are everywhere and control your government with directed energy whip. Satanic murderers are everywhere and control your government with directed energy weapons. Okay? By not exposing it, you are just making it worse for yourselves. Not talking about it will not make somebody switch of their brain control and directed energy weapon torture machines. Jewish overrepresentation in the media and among the best jobs is a form of racism, you could argue. Benjamin Netanyahu, who has served as Israel's prime minister, frankly regards Jews as members of a racial group. Speaking to a gathering of nearly 1,000 Jews in Southern California, he said, "If Israel had not come into existence after World War II, then I am certain the Jewish race wouldn't have survived." Netanyahu quote, Daily Pilot, Newport Beach, Costa Mesa, February 28, 2000, front page. IHR.org. The Institute for Historical Review, IHR, founded in 1978. David Duke also uses this quote on his website, davidduke.com/the roots of Jewish supremacism, the Jewish race. And if they are named Jews because their ancestors are supposedly from Judah or Judea, then it is about race. The Jewish race would not have existed were it not for incest, if we are to believe what is written in it. So all their bloodlines were begotten from inbreeding? David Duke also covered Jews are not allowed to marry non-Jews in Israel. Non-Jews may not read the Talmud, etc. That's racial discrimination, is it not? Ignatius of Loyola, a Basque nobleman from the Pyrenees area of northern Spain, founded the Jesuits Society after discerning his spiritual vocation while recovering from a wound sustained in the Battle of Pamplona. The first Jesuits were crypto-Jews. Ignatius Loyola himself was a crypto-Jew of the occult Kabbalah. A crypto-Jew is a Jew who converts to another religion and outwardly embraces the new religion, while secretly maintaining Jewish practices. As John Terrell explains, in 1491 San Ignacio de Loyola was born in the Basque province of Guipuzcoa, Spain. His parents were Marranos, and at the time of his birth the family was very wealthy. As a young man he became a member of the Jewish Illuminati order in Spain. As a cover for his crypto-Jewish activities, he became very active as a Roman Catholic. Israelect.com/reference/Willie Martin/Ignatius_Loyola.htm. Jewish privilege. The poster's Haran has a dark, stated presumption, ending white privilege. Starts with ending Jewish privilege. WashingtonJewsWeek.com. If Jewish people are overrepresented among the best paying jobs and own 90% of the mainstream media, combined with the fact that there are 6 powerful Jews that call for depopulating the earth, then you are not an anti-Semite if you point that out. People that want to destroy countries may want to pretend you may not point your finger at the people doing the torture, poisoning and murders, but I just do not buy that, since murder is a crime far worse than anti-Semitism and racism combined. It's obvious they want to get rid of 93% of us from their book quotes. Do not let them fool you. Do not let anybody grind you down. Why does everybody think not everybody is totally brain controlled all of the time? Why don't psychiatrists or shrinks do any tests with equipment that can make voice-to-skull messages audible to find out if patients are harassed with this silent sound and audio spotlight technology to produce voices in the head, when even consumers can buy this techno? They simply prescribe the cancer-causing prescription drug Zyprexa, which has killed many people. A wall decoration in the office of David Cameron has the bizarre words "kill and vaccinate" on it. You can see this painting with the words "kill and vaccinate" on it on sunnation.co.uk in the A Day in the Life video made by The Sun in March 2015. Jane Burgermeister covered it. In the yellow area we read, How should we treat foot and mouth? In black the words kill and vaccinate are shown. I wouldn't be surprised if colloidal silver would kill this foot and mouth disease, if it were a designer virus variant of the disease designed to depopulate the earth, and if they would start rounding up people that refuse to take their killer vaccine. This painting also reminds me of the red, yellow and blue list that they have to round up innocent civilians, red listed people rounded up by the people on the blue list, with the yellow listed cannibals depopulating the earth as their superiors. Can Plan 88 of the Pentagon covered by CNN, the nuking of zombie hordes, and the Global Situational Awareness Program, drones, Talon robot and military shooting at any person breaking their home quarantine, any person that goes outside without a blue transponder to starve the population to death. It's done by Skull and Bones with HAARP. The Vatican yellow color of the Vatican flag. How to learn it, elders.
They're blocking me from selecting the text. Oh, now they don't. Twice it was blocked when I tried to select it from the top and from the bottom. It was on this video.
Queen Elizabeth and Cameron issued warrants for a paedophile ring. Saturday, January 25, 2014. Today Queen Elizabeth and UK Prime Minister David Cameron were issued arrest warrants. The two were charged with sexual crimes against children as part of an international paedophile ring. We have enough evidence to prosecute and hold both the Prime Minister and Queen of England, said ex-Royal Military Policeman Matt Taylor. Last Thursday, activist David Caufman was released from the London Park Royal Mental Health Centre. The psychiatric facility had been swamped with calls about his forced detainment there. David, plus his wife, were arrested on 3 occasions this month, without being charged. His apparent crime was daring to post Brussels common law court arrest warrants on the Queen, Cameron, former Catholic Pope Joseph Ratzinger and 37 other global elites. www.ix.org, Controlled Opposition, Kevin Annett, fake priest with fake court.
It was that piece where, an article where David Cameron was accused of pig fucking, having sex with a pig, with an animal instead of a human. Zoophilia, basically. But it's part of a ritual that he did, so, according to the article. But apparently they don't want me to find it. It's the same as with the other thing. And probably it's one of these articles and they blocked the Yarte text editor find function, search function, somehow. But it's in my previous broadcast if you want to hear what the person wrote. Well, I can stand it, has to be somewhere. And the question is if it was written with a dash or without a dash. Or space. So it should be in this one. I think it's a really lengthy one, could be in here somewhere. Prime Minister David Cameron fucked a dead pig. dailysquad.com. David Cameron accused of putting his dick in pig's mouth. Cameron's a pig fucker on Imgur. British Prime Minister reveals he put his penis in a dead pig's mouth. Complex.com, 2015. Daily Beast writes David Cameron accused of sex acts with a dead pig. And GQ.com. Right, why is everyone saying the UK Prime Minister had sex with a pig? But there was also, I think, religious BS, and he reminded me kind of David Cameron. So that's how I got the idea. Well, said that it cannot find the article. I'm sure that it must be that I've seen it earlier also, when I was scrolling through these articles to find info. So it must be one of those. So I thought, let's restart the yard thing.
Queen Elizabeth and Cameron issued warrant. Queen Elizabeth and Cameron issued.
So that it's a fake priest with a fake court, a Catholic covering for them, controlled opposition, prevent any real resistance. That just means that it could be true what they write. It's not supposed to make you think, oh wow, then it's not true. Or is it? So I guess they fear targeted individuals like the plague, because it's the only reason we are still alive. So that they already deny access to that military facility without the IAEA even having a list which is required for them to do these inspections, makes clear that it's probable that they have planned a third world war over Iran to depopulate Earth to 500 million, and it's best to prepare, it's easy to survive. So there's no excuse, it's stupid not to prepare. So I don't buy anything they write, and I hope you all don't either. No, Cameron has blue eyes. Or is he wearing contacts in this image? What do you all think? No, this is a nurse, supposedly. Dale Bollinger. After his release. No, this is a male. This is a male, according to the Mirror. Okay. Okay. But here it says under the picture, the twisted nurse plotted to kill and eat a teenage girl. So it can be a male nurse or whatever, I guess. I stay vegetarian. Actually, I haven't read Mein Kampf, and I think it's forbidden in the Netherlands anyway. It's censored. But people can read it online, so I think they cannot prevent people from reading it if they want to. But it probably sucks tremendously anyway, especially if Hitler didn't write it himself. But I don't know, it's just I think I listened to Evalian reading part of it in English. But then you can also wonder if it's correct translation and stuff. But I stopped believing what people say and just live my life as good as possible anyway. Try to make the best out of it. To have some fun. So I think this is it for Universal Peace for today, because they're messing with this broadcast. It hasn't been a pleasure for me. Feeling kind of tired, muscle weakness. But single ladies are welcome. I can also sit here and do broadcasts, so we can also watch a movie together. And I am still capable of doing a free hand massage if you like. Of course, I do not touch people without their permission, they do. So, watch out. Stay safe out there. Make sure that you're armed, that you can defend yourself and your family. And get colloidal silver and probioticum to get the good bacteria in your gut that your gut needs to digest food. Because they're killed by the colloidal silver, that stuff really works. And it's also covered by the Strategic Threat Reduction Agency itself. So, what can I say? I think it's the most important stuff is in my previous broadcasts. I've explained how to prevent that world war over Iran and how to prevent the two-state solution world war. And that it's best to just be prepared no matter what they say. Usually it's just an attempt to make sure people don't prepare and don't survive. Wrapped in the coating of wishful thinking. So most people, they know, most people, or many people would rather believe that it's not going to happen, and many people would think, well, then it's better to die anyway. If it would happen, that's no BS. So it's better to just prepare and have a good time. Perhaps I'll do another broadcast, because usually after restarting my computer it will work better. Right now CPU usage is only 49%, so it's mainly system interrupts that was causing it. So I might take a look at that. Okay. Universal peace now. So instead of spending $1 trillion on more nukes, or revising the nukes, they should spend it on controlling the factors that control aging, also because nuclear weapons are obsolete. Scalar weapons have made them obsolete. They cannot get through the Tesla plasma shield that they can generate anywhere. There's one picture of it online. And because nuclear weapons can only kill us, the humans, and it would not contribute to controlling the factors that control aging, finding a way to control these factors that control aging. And if that way is not found before, in like 50 years or so, then you're 50 years older, and then you would die, and every living thing would die if they don't get control of the factors that control aging. More about this in my previous broadcasts as well, so if you search on my channel, then there are definitely educational topics that I think everybody should know about. Stuff they really don't want you to know, etc. And donations are also welcome, so please like and subscribe for universal peace.